Okay, look, first up, before I start talking about this new article, I'd like to thank all the people who turned up at the presentation we put up at Byron, at the Discovery Park at Byron. Two of the events were sold out. It was well received, and we're going to do it again. It'll be thematic again, and we'll put the theme up fairly soon. We're just putting together now a date in February, and the people are coming. And again, it'll be a different theme for the last one. It'll be based around that, and we're going to do that fairly soon. And the people involved at the Discovery Park were happy and want to do it again, so we are, and we'll do it under the same conditions as before. Anyway, back to the article we have today. It's about a ring. No, it's not about the Atlantean ring. It's about another ring that's turned up, and I'm going to hold it up now. Try and hold it somewhere near. It's this ring here. Now what you're going to find with this ring is you'll hold it, you'll see that it's quite, it's got a, whoa, just dropped it. It's got a really large opening. I can fit 2 fingers in, and primarily if I put the 2 fingers in, which is what I'm doing now, if you look, you'll see there's still plenty of room after that. So it's an interesting ring, because of the fact that it has got a large opening. B, that ring is actually quite worn and nearly broken because it's been worn so often. But that it weighs over 80 grams, and the ring from Atlantis weighs 2. And some people have said, oh, it's made for a person with an exceptionally large finger. And there's some validity in that, but there's a flaw in it, a fundamental flaw. When I put that ring on my finger, and if I place it on a finger, the finger drops nearly straight away because of the weight of the ring. It weighs over 80 grams. The other one weighs 40 times more than the other ring. And I can feel after about a minute the pain running, or sort of the stress running down that bone to the wrist. Now that's the point with that. You can say, oh, it's made for someone with a massive, massive finger, which I don't believe is the case. But secondly, even if it was, it's just too heavy. Now, we actually write about that ring, and there's an article which we're pushing and putting up at the moment. But primarily, I want to tell you of one thing that happened, that took place with the actual discovery of this ring, which I think is probably more pertinent than its chemical makeup, which I'll talk about at the finish, or the fact that it's incredibly old, the fact that the artistry and what's taken place will be difficult today to put together. All those things, we'll separate all those things for 1 second, and let's start with a base, which is Roz had bought a giant's ring. I'd heard about it, but the other ring had been stolen at the time, and it really didn't rub with me. I couldn't really see what she was talking about because I was being distracted by the fact the Atlantean ring was taken. After it came back, we started to focus more on what she'd found, and that ring she was looking after. And then one day she said that she's found another giant's ring, and this is the important part of this story, ladies and gentlemen. Found's not the right word. It was for sale in Israel, so it's not found because someone else has got it. It comes from Angkor Wat. It was dug out of the ground. We know all that. It's incredibly ancient. But what's interesting is how Roz actually found the ring. Now, her story, which is in the article, and we've taken a quote of one section of it, put it down, basically how it happened was that at 8:30 at night on a Sunday night, she was holding the ring she's got, which is similar but not the same. And she was told by that ring to stop watching the TV show, go to the computer, and given her a website address that she was not familiar with and had never used. So she typed that in. And then after that, when she went there, she got to this place and she realized it was a place that sold objects, arts and crafts. Not history, not geology, not archaeology, but arts and crafts. And of course, she'd never been there. because Ros isn't that interested in bangles and adornment unless it's historical, then she is. Well, anyway, lo and behold, she was then told to type in the words giant's ring. And I mean told as in the ring said that. That's her story. You can take it or leave it. We, of course, take it. If you want to leave it, you can. But you shouldn't, because there's no reason to make this up. And the proof is in the story that finishes this, by the way. So anyway, she goes there and there's this ring for sale. So she buys it and tells me that it actually has to be sent straight to me, not to her, because this ring is for me. Now, ladies and gentlemen, all I want to say is this, the article we're doing there is a story about this new ring with this massive opening that I can put 2.5 fingers inside. And to give you an idea, I measured up the size of the Atlantean ring and worked out how many square millimeters that was there. And it was about 290. Then I measured up this ring and I measured up the size of that circle that goes with it. And ladies and gentlemen, that circle measured 960, which was nearly 3 times greater than the other circles. So basically this ring is made, the one that I've got is made for a human. It fits on a human ring, a finger. And the other one is nearly 3 times larger. Now, even if it did fit, it doesn't matter. So what we've now got is they've found a ring. Ros found a ring. Well, she didn't. The ring found the ring. And for me, that's the most important part of this equation. Of course, the fact that the ring is ancient, that we believe it was held by giants, that we actually feel strongly the evidence points at the fact that before Angkor Wat, the reason why they have massive doors there is because before the Chinese to become Cambodian came down there was a group of people there. And according to them, and according to the evidence we've gathered, and Ros has gathered, not me, they were black, they were dark, they were like, inverted commas, the Australian Aboriginals, and they were giants. And they came, and they were already there. That's the story, and that's probably why the ring is here. But ladies and gentlemen, what I find interesting is this particular ring, the one we have here at the moment, the one that's just turned up. I think it comes from the same place the Atlantean ring came from. In fact, I believe the ring that Ros has got comes from the same place again. And what I'm prepared to say is that we've done some analysis of the rings, of 2 of them with 1 to go. And I'll talk about that next time round. But what I can say is inside the ring that directed Ros to chase up this particular ring that I have at the moment, the chemical analysis proves that what is inside that ring is impossible. It can't be there. Unless Angkor Wat was made and originated in the 1930s, there is no way the ring that told Ros to buy this ring should be there. It cannot exist. So that's the interesting part of the story with these rings. We may be wrong about their powers. We may be wrong about the fact that they've got magic inside them. But I can tell you what we are right about is that the ring, the Orichalcum ring that we have, and the ring that directed us to this ring, which we have not got analysed yet, we're about to, and that's why that'll come out next. The ring that directed us to the ring I'm talking about now has within it constituents or elements that have never been placed in any ring on this planet until the 1930s. Which means, A, 1 of 2 things. That in earlier times, there are advanced civilizations that are at least the equal of 1930 on this planet now, because what we're seeing didn't happen till then, or more than likely well above that level and our level again. Now that's the bare minimum of what these new set of 2 rings bring into the equation. But for now, after doing 24 minutes recently, I'll leave it at that for now. But I would recommend, if you get the chance, at least read some of the stories on this new ring, because it is a Lemurian ring, and it does confirm that Lemuria exists. And of course, the last ring confirmed that Atlantis exists. And the reason the last ring, the Atlantean ring, did that is because the constituents, the chemicals inside, they don't exist anywhere. They don't exist. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the constituents inside that ring there, they don't exist anywhere either until 1930. But here they are, and this ring is thousands upon thousands of years old, but made from substances that we didn't use until now. We'll have a complete sum up of the 3 rings when the 3rd one is done, and we'll have all of the science that shows us these 3 rings mean that our history and our past has been stolen. Happens all the time, and it's happening again, which is sort of what the theme of our next talk of Byron will be. Anyway, we won't do that for now. So ladies and gentlemen, if you get a chance, have a look at the article, because it has got within it a story about a ring that, once again, shouldn't be here, but it is. So go figure. Where does that leave us? Probably the same place as always, with our head in the sand.